Alrighty, I'm recording this to go over my keyword research process using LLMs to inform some of this keyword research and just general keyword builds. This is for search campaigns, specifically paid. So we're talking pay-per-click, search engine marketing. This is not for organic search. That would obviously be a different process there. So this is all things paid keyword research using LLMs. I'll give you an overview of my process to conduct keyword research, but just a disclaimer here, use your best judgment. I'm probably going to sift through some things pretty quickly and could get into detail in certain areas. I just want to give you kind of like the lay of the land here, um, to go off and conduct that keyword research on your own. But again, I'm probably going to skim through some stuff here just to give you general frameworks and kind of like how I'm thinking about keyword research using LLMs here. So I thought it would be nice to have an example for this to go through my keyword research. For this, I'm going to use CrowdStrike as the example. Obviously a massive update they made, and that led to a lot of hardships across airlines, healthcare, et cetera. As like they made an update, it impacted Microsoft, and a lot of these images about like the blue screen of death. So I figured this would be a timely example to use. So if I was working with CrowdStrike and they were a client of ours, what would my keyword research process kind of look like? I think it goes without saying, having a kickoff call with the client is extremely important to get a better understanding of the vernacular and how they're speaking about their product, and some acronyms that they're using. If you can get insight into their previous ad account or any research that they've done, sift through all of that. That's extremely helpful here. That's like the best case scenario if you get access to a previous Google Ads account. So let's just say I was just going in and just doing some keyword research. Always recommend starting with any data and research that the client has, and then sifting through their site. I would be checking out different tabs, what their platform has to offer, what services they have to offer, and then I'm writing down a list of keywords in a spreadsheet as I go through this process. Does not have to be, overly sophisticated. Literally just start writing down keywords in a spreadsheet and start compiling as many as you think are relevant as possible. I usually like to take a first pass at this and just get an understanding of, here's some keywords that I would bid on. And then what I would do is I would use Google Keyword Planner tool, and I would take at least like 10 keywords, or close to 10 keywords. I would take those keywords along with that client's website, and then I would paste that into the Keyword Planner tool. So as you can see here, I've already done that where I've provided some keywords as well as that website just to be as specific and relevant as possible. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking through these results to get an understanding of which keywords that I would want to have included within my keyword campaign build. And again, I'm just going through and seeing like what looks relevant, and then I would just start picking off some of these keywords that I think are relevant enough to bid on in search campaigns. Literally just copying, pasting those into this file, and get as many keywords as you physically can into this file here that you think are relevant. And then kind of like that third layer would be, okay, you did your manual sift, you use a keyword planner. So now let's start doing some prompting in LLMs. I have this built out with just some general prompts for the team. If you want to, just kind of like have a thought starter here. I've already done this for CrowdStrike in specific for a prompt that I would use. But I think this would be like, first principle thinking. If you were doing keyword research, what information would you need to do that? Well, you'd probably need the client's website. You'd probably need an understanding of their ideal customer profile. And you'd probably need an understanding of, just general goals, general locations that they'd like to bid on, whether this is an international versus domestic campaign, etc. Think about if you were in that position to do keyword research and the types of questions that you would ask. I would then use that to inform your prompt for that LLM. That way, you're giving that LLM as much information as you can, to get the best results possible. And then from there, I would start prompting an LLM. ChatGPT, especially the paid version, has been very solid. Huge fan of Perplexity. Gemini, I think, is pretty solid. Claude is really powerful. I would just recommend that you use like 2 or 3 LLMs throughout this process and literally copy and paste the same exact thing from one LLM to the other to start informing that build and get an idea of what keywords that you want to have included within here. Now, I will say in the Notion doc, I have provided the settings that I've applied within my account. It's been really helpful. Prior to updating some of those settings, I found LLMs to be a bit verbose, whereas now after those settings, they kind of get straight to the point there. So this would be like the third kind of piece of this process here is like using an LLM, getting an understanding of these keywords, and again, copy and paste these things into your doc and keep building that thing out as extensive as possible. Now, I think this would be where, your expertise can come into play of once you have an extensive list of keywords, which ones that you'd want to bid on and how you'd want to organize those into ad groups and campaigns. Your experience is going to be really valuable there. Now, I will say you can use an LLM to inform what that kind of campaign to ad group structure is going to look like. I've done that plenty of times. It's been pretty helpful there as well. And again, we're like 5 minutes into recording this. And at this point, I have a pretty extensive list of keywords kind of built out here. So you can get an understanding of, there's definitely some time savings here, but I will urge you to sift through these terms and get a better understanding of like, is this relevant or not? Do not simply copy and paste from these LLMs. I found sometimes they give you some extremely broad keywords, just as a Google Keyword Planner would do. And then as kind of like a general rule of thumb, I would then start searching some of those keywords on Google. Google has, 20 plus years of search data where they have a good understanding of what results people are looking for. So those search results will give you some good nuggets of intel into, hey, maybe I want to bid on these keywords, or maybe I don't want to bid on these keywords. There's no other ads in market here, or this structured snippet answer is way different than what I would have thought it would have been, and maybe this wouldn't be a relevant keyword. So I would say use your best judgment in that sense and start searching some of those keywords. But I think you can kind of get an understanding of manual sift, Google Keyword Planner, LLMs, and then start doing some searches for yourself. You'll get a really good understanding of those keywords. I also would say in this process, maybe consider some type of competitor keyword research tool like a SimilarWeb to get a better understanding of what some of your competitor terms and what some of your competitors are bidding on. That can maybe inform your build process there as well. But I think if you follow this, you'll get a really extensive list of keywords that are relevant, that are willing to bid on in search campaigns, and hopefully that saves you some time throughout that process. Obviously, reach out if you have any questions, but hopefully this is helpful and gives you kind of an understanding of how to use LLMs to inform that keyword research.